Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where today I'm once again doing an AI versus AI fight, but this time around it's going to be just battleships. There is however a slight discrepancy. We are playing as the British Empire. It is 1940 for us. The Spanish Empire, however, is still stuck in 1930, so they have slightly older technology. I'm going to start at 15,000 meter range to make sure that the enemy has a decent chance, because otherwise, if I start in 1940 at, let's say, a range of 22,000 meters, I might just radar the enemy and start blasting them from afar. Also, I want to see how well the AI manages 3 battleships versus 6 enemy battleships. So let's have the AI design a ship and see how well it works out. Now I'm going to go with a fairly high displacement over here, 62,000 tons. The AI doesn't generally touch these things much, so I can just adjust this. Let's say 27 knots. Alright, auto design. Here goes. Interesting build. It's going with double 17-inch guns, Mark IIIs. It's, once again, scared to death of enemy torpedoes, which currently there aren't any of. Okay. Double hull bottom, Krupp 2 armor only. It has coal-fired diesel engines with forced boilers, which gives me an engine efficiency of 81%. That's actually pretty respectable. Krupp 2 armor, are you sure? This is plus 80% armor strength versus plus 100% armor strength. Oh well. I'm just going to bank on the fact that the AI is also using auto design for their ships, which means that they very well might have a bit of a weird armor scheme as well. Anyway, at least the barbettes are heavily armored. We got double bottom hull, anti-flooding 1, a turtleback armor scheme, and standard bulkheads. Now this is where it gets interesting. The AI has put on light shells, standard ammo complement, standard torpedo complement, high TNT explosives. We have electro-hydraulic turrets with semi-auto loaders, fast torpedoes, okay, 23-inch torpedoes. I'm not even sure if the AI deployed torpedoes on the ship. Let's see, did you put any on? Well, if you did, they're not exactly underwater launchers. Nope, I can still add them to all sides. So the AI didn't actually put any torpedo tubes on. Nor do I see any on the deck. So that leads me to believe that, sure enough, there are not any torpedo tubes on here. No, displacement does not change. So just ignore the torpedo armament. Anyway, rangefinders are coincidence rangefinders, which means that we aim faster. Advanced radio for additional communications range, and Generation 1 radar. Why it didn't go with Generation 2, I don't know. Maybe it was too heavy. I think it's going to go over the displacement. Armor, 13.6-inch belt armor, 7.5-inch belt extended, 7.4 deck main, 1.9 deck extended. Oof. It does have secondaries in the form of triple 5-inch guns. And then we have 8-inch casemate guns, which can fire out to a range of 14.7, so they should instantly be in range. Right. Turret top, only 2.5 inches. I don't really expect plunging fire to be that much of a problem, because we are pretty close to the enemy as is. Oh, there's another secondary here, a triple 6-inch. And none on the stern. Alright, I think that's all that I need to discuss about the ship design. I really wonder how the AI is going to manage these ships. Range very long, yeah, right. Whoa, look at how much weight that saved. Holy shit. Okay, so the AI does touch these sliders. Okay. In that case, I'm going to go for maximum bulkheads and very short range. That way I'm not really interfering with the displacement of the ship too much, because it's still around that 62,000 mark, and I'm not interfering with any of the guns. Any of the armaments. Alright, so let's hand over control of these ships to the AI and see how it's going to go down. I don't really expect my ships to be able to survive. Not against this much firepower. Because keep in mind, we're fighting 6 battleships with just the 3 of ours. 6 Spanish battleships. Wait, 1. Alright, what's our formation? We have 1 formation of the Collingwood, the Africa, and the Lion. Collingwood's our lead ship. Hand over control to the AI. Put your entire fleet under AI command. AI command is on. Good. What can we tell about the Spanish? The Spanish seem to be using a formation of 5 battleships and then 1 solo. Why exactly it went with 1 solo, I don't know. But that's their prerogative. Those are what, 14, 15-inch guns? It's not terribly big anyway. Casemate guns all over the place. What might be a 8-inch secondary, 8 or 7. And it's already opening up. Our battleships are still trying to swing those 17-inch guns around. Oh, there's a lot of firing coming. This is going to be one big slugfest. Now, a lot of these secondaries are firing. That's all the 8-inch casemate guns. It looks like the accuracy from the main guns are really good already. 27%, 6.5 on the 8-inch. And it looks like we've already inflicted a pretty decent hit on this ship. Because I did see a 214 hit for a penetration. Although, right now the ship is on fire in 2 locations, it doesn't seem to be too heavily afflicted yet. But there sure is a lot of fire coming in. Unfortunately, holy shit, already, the Africa has already taken flooding damage. Really? I didn't even do much. But I guess one of those things was able to penetrate the lower belt. Yeah, there you go. The Africa has penetration. Damage to the main tower. Jeez, there's so much ordnance in the air that it's hard to figure out whose ordnance it is. There's another fire set over here on the ship that we still haven't identified. Collingwood's down to 96%. Africa's down to 91%. And is now flooding in a different location as well. Yeah, I think that against 6 battleships we're a little outgunned. Let's see how this battle is going to unfold. What are my ships doing formation-wise? Because they just seem to be operating in a line astern. They're not exactly angling either. Ah, we've got the conning tower on the Africa damaged. I still have no idea how heavily these things are armored. Oh, but this battleship took a bit of a hit here. I think he's down to 70 to 80% structural integrity. So far, though, most, if not everything, seems to be bouncing off. But now it's opening up again. So now we might start some more fires and actually get some damage in on this ship. How about the others? Because they're just happily operating and they're not even under any sort of fire. Whereas Collingwood and Africa are down to 88 and 87. There you go. This ship is now back on fire. Identification is still taking a hell of a lot of time. 38% only. So we're going to be here all. There you go. That's what I want to see. Flooding. Engines damaged. I think that was a 17-inch AP hit. And it really knocked that ship down quite a bit. Also, the turrets are getting knocked out. This one's down. I think this one's destroyed as well. And that one. So that leaves this ship with that turret and a bunch of secondaries. Right, so we're capable of knocking out guns. That is an interesting development. Because if I can do that to the other battleships as well, I'll quickly be able to reduce their firepower. Anyway, it seems like this ship, whatever it's called, is trying to get out. It just lost another secondary gun. It got the casemate destroyed. It seems to be taking pretty heavy flooding. But the Collingwood isn't doing too much better. Sure enough, I'm flooding a little bit, but not nearly as bad as the warship from the Spanish. It seems like most of my secondaries and casemates are actually operational. The main guns are getting damaged, but operational. Those 17-inchers really need to do work. Because we're still very much outgunned. Now the Collingwood's getting decent accuracy at 34%. The damaged Africa, with its fire control, is still getting 34%. So I'm not too concerned about their performance. Hopefully I can just knock this one down. There you go. Destroyed main gun, destroyed secondary gun, damage to the main gun. That would mean that both bow turrets have now been completely destroyed. It only has one stern turret left, this one. Which I think it's trying to swing around, but it's having a bit of a hard time doing it. Oh no, it doesn't need to be swung around, because the Collingwood is still definitely a target for that stern turret. So this ship pretty much has... well, it has been put out of the fight. Because I don't find the casemates to be particularly worrying. It only has one turret. I think, however, that the AI does not see it the same way. I think that the AI is going to continue to fire at this ship, whereas I would probably be switching fire to the other ships. Because the other ships, in my opinion, are much, much more of a threat. They still have all their guns, and they're still making sure that the Collingwood's not going anywhere fast. Engine knocked out. Yeah, that's pretty bad news for that ship. And keep in mind that the AI wanted my ships to have few bulkheads. Well, considering the beating that they're going up against, I think few bulkheads would very quickly have ended this battle in the favor of the Spanish. Okay, that one's limping off. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's set to retreat by the AI. The Collingwood's turning around, trying to rejoin the formation. And they're now switching formation. The Lion is supposed to be the lead ship, the Africa the second one, and the Collingwood's supposed to be the tailgate. The closing of the formation. The Collingwood's on fire in 3 different locations. It's flooding. All of its main guns, though, are still operational. So sure enough, it's taken a lot of a beating, but it's still capable of doing damage. And so far... ah, we got our first identification in. Oh, that's another ship. The San Carlos has taken a lot of damage. And the other one, the Santo Domingo, this is the one that we were hammering before, which only has the one turret left. So my ships are actually doing good work here on the San Carlos. The San Carlos is listing over the starboard while it's heavily doing a turn. I'm seeing one destroyed secondary here. There's fire and flooding on the ship. Damage to the main tower. The turrets, however, seem operational. Engine damaged. I think the San Carlos might go down. And it might actually go down sooner than the Santo Domingo. Now these things are armed with 14-inch guns, which reload in only 29 seconds. As compared to my guns, which reload in 46 seconds, but hit a lot harder. All ships are currently still firing on the San Carlos. If I can knock this thing down, that's a whole lot of guns out of commission. And then I think the AI is going to focus on a different ship with all firepower. There you go, another flooding hit. Another fire. They have minimum bulkheads. Yes, I can see that being a problem. Alright, interestingly, by the way, the AI went with 110% armor on their ships. So I think that they did go for Crop 4 on the Spanish fleet. Which is an interesting selection, considering that for my ships, they did not consider that relevant. They did not consider that apparently important to make sure that the survival of my ships was a thing. There you go, the San Carlos has been sunk. What are we targeting next? Looks like we're going for the lead ship now, the Triomphant. Or, no, sorry, that's French. I don't know how you would pronounce that in Spanish. I only got French in school, not Spanish. Anyway, one ship has been sunk. in effect, we have taken 2 ships out of the battle, which is the San Carlos and the Santo Domingo. The Triunfante is now very much the main focus. The big question is, how long can we rely on the firepower from the Collingwood? Because it doesn't look good for this ship. Sure enough, its floatability is still alright, but it's taken severe structural damage. And it has 2 engines knocked out, which means that the top speed for the Collingwood seemingly is about 15 knots only. Lion and Africa are doing significantly better, with the Lion in pristine condition. It's not taken a single hit. But then again, it's probably not been the target of any fire. Well, it is now. It is now. Triunfante knocked down severely, 75%. I'm getting penetrations on the mid-belt and the deck. It is still burning. And with minimum bulkheads, it's going to be hard for the ship to contain those fires. That must be all the 8-inch casemates that I have firing. These are the 17-inch. Hit, damage to the main gun. Lion is... Yeah, Lion has taken its first bit of damage and is now flooding. Now, by the way, you guys were right on the automatic ammo selection for these ships. The AI apparently uses HE for the smaller 8-inch guns and the 6-inch as well. And seems to be selecting the AP charge, or the AP rounds, for the main 17-inch guns. Which seems to be working pretty damn nicely. Oh, okay, that was only flooding. I thought it was going to do a lot more damage than that. 17-inch. Lion is now really taking it. Flooding. Pretty heavy damage. Casemate destroyed here. That means that this ship is very much open to attack. Having lost a good deal of its armor already. Still flooding. 3 different locations. On fire in 3 as well. There's another casemate destroyed. Structural integrity is really going down quick. Now I hope that I can snowball this fight. So if I knock down this ship and that ship and the Santo Domingo, which is effectively no longer a fighting force, I'm now doing a 3v3. Which means that I have, so long as the Collingwood is alive, significantly more firepower than the enemy. And that by virtue of that, I can survive the fight and make sure that my ships will be able to take down the enemy. Vice versa, if the enemy starts taking down, let's say, 2 ships of mine, that would be a problem, because then I lose out on so much firepower that I will start taking more and more damage and not put out enough damage to knock down the enemy ships. So far, I think this ship might be sinking in the next minute or 2. There's another big salvo coming in from the Collingwood. Looking to get a bit of revenge in for all the damage that has been inflicted on it. Unfortunately missing every round so far. But I think that enemy shell fire is not the biggest problem for the Triunfante at the moment. It could be the flooding. Although, no, they haven't. There is still flooding, but I don't really see it. Oh, here. It's down to 7, it's down to 8, 6. They are definitely fighting it, but is it enough? Is it enough to save this ship? 6%? 5%? Come on, inflict a bit more flooding and you get rid of the ship altogether. 3%? 2%? Still 3? 2? It's still flooding. It's trying to steer away from the fight now. But I think that might be too late. Unfortunately, the Lion at this point is taking a hell of a beating. Structural integrity down to 52%. We have taken a lot of flooding at the moment. But with maximum bulkheads and anti-flooding, it should be under control. Africa is, I think, from this current fleet, the most healthy ship. And the Collingwood is still, well, sort of lagging behind. Okay, the, what? That was a different ship. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the Brillante over here, but Aha. Bow belt extended. Ammo detonation. Damage 3,172. This thing got its ammo detonated. The stern of the ship seems to be in pristine condition. The bow? Not so much. This ship got ammo wrecked. Ammunition storages went up. So that means that they only effectively have the Triunfante, which is trying to withdraw. The Numancia 1 and the Reina Luisa. And the Santo Domingo is again withdrawing. Seemingly not even firing its one turret anymore. So, very much contrary to my expectations, I think that these 3 British battleships might win this fight. Numancia now being heavily targeted by the 17 inches, immediately losing fire control or conning tower. Ship is on fire. Triunfante. Geez, this ship really came back from the brink. The Triunfante was the ship that at some point had about 3% floatability. And now they have pumped out most of the water and it's back at almost 50%. Well done to the Spanish damage control parties here. Now, if this were my ships, the Collingwood, the Africa and the Lion, I would probably finish off the Triunfante, especially, I imagine, in a campaign. But this is just a custom battle. Still, I would want these guns out of commission, and making sure that this ship is no longer a threat is going to be easier to do than attacking the Numancia 1 and taking that thing all the way down. So I would personally be targeting the Triunfante, but the AI seems to be of a different mind. And is... They are going after this one, aren't they? The Numancia. What are you targeting? No! They're targeting the Reina Luisa. And doing good damage to that one as well. In fact, I think we might be seeing different targets for different ships. Which is interesting. Oh, engine damaged. Engines 2 and 3 damaged on the Reina Luisa. Flooding severely on the bow. On fire in 4, maybe even 5 locations. The Lion at this point, almost dead in the water. Lost 3 of its engines, which I think is all of them, but the game doesn't exactly tell you how many engines a ship has. Fortunately, most of the turrets are still operational. It only lost the X turret. So it still has the A, B and the Y turret available. And she's still fighting. The formation, however, is erratic, to say the least. The Collingwood's still fighting. The Africa, I think, might be in withdrawal. It might be trying to flee the battle, leaving only the 2 stern turrets to actually do damage. But why the Africa is running away, I don't know. I would be pushing with the Africa, especially trying to finish off the Reina Luisa. And then the damaged Triunfante. And then hopefully taking out the Numancia. Now, this is interesting to see how much damage or how much difference a 10-year gap can make, technology-wise. Keep in mind, I did not design either of these ship classes. I did not design this ship class, nor the ship class of the Collingwood, the Africa and the Lion. I just did a small adjustment in the form of changing the amount of fuel that they carry and upping their bulkheads. That's the only thing. Aside from that, I was very, very eager to upgrade their armor to Krupp 4, which might have helped them survive a little longer. But so far, they seem to be capable of just managing themselves just fine. Santo Domingo is very much out of the fight. It's withdrawn to outside of firing range. Reina Luisa, still very much the focus of all the fire. Currently supposedly flooding, but I don't see it. I just see a couple of flooded compartments. Triunfante getting hit by secondary fire from what could be the Lion. I think we could see one of those... Yeah, the Africa's just completely heading away from the fight. Why? Why is the one healthy ship leaving And why are my wounded battleships the only ones which are still fighting? I don't get that. I don't get that. That is something that... Whoa! That went up nicely. That's something that during the campaign I'll have to keep a very close eye on. If I allow the AI to control my ships. Which is going to be unlikely. Considering that they're withdrawing with their healthy ships. Ship, singular, the Africa. And leaving the damaged ships to maintain the fight. Okay, maybe there could be a case made for that. Maybe there could be a case made for that. These ships, the Collingwood and the Lion, could be considered lost. So maybe they're sacrificing the weak, the Collingwood and the Lion, to make sure that the most healthy ship, the Africa, is still going to survive. I would probably play it different. I would have the Africa stay in the fight and try to withdraw the Collingwood and the Lion, or at least make sure that they provide firepower at greater range. At this point though, I think that my ships have withdrawn to such a range, yeah, we're at about 13 kilometers out, that the Reina Luisa is no longer capable of actually hitting me. Or it doesn't care. Or, and this is not a possibility, it can't see me. Holy shit, look at the damage to this turret. Whoa. Can I get... What the hell? Look at that. Sheesh. That poor ship. That poor ship. Anyway, I would probably keep my Africa in the fight, allowing the Collingwood and the Lion to just fall back and get repaired, if this was a campaign. And in case you're wondering, no, I do not know when the campaign is going to come out. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Now, so far no losses on the part of the British. The Spanish have lost 3 ships, so I would say this round goes to the British. Although I'm not sure what sort of price tag it would take to repair these ships. It would still probably be less than trying to rebuild the Spanish fleet with their 3 battleships. Or, well, 3 fewer battleships at this point. I think that this fight's going to be pretty much over. What's the Collingwood doing? Are you falling back? Yeah, the Collingwood and the Lion are falling back. So their accuracy is going to drop the farther and farther away they get until they're no longer in effective range. And I'm only using, in case of the Lion, 1 stern turret because the other one got destroyed. The Collingwood still has both turrets and is firing at about 20% accuracy. So we might still sink the Reina Luisa. There you go, damage, destroyed main gun even. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be so far out of range that the ships are not going to be accurate. And that the Reina Luisa is going to survive. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any good suggestions for the next custom battle, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. What sort of custom battle would you like to see? Would you like me to control it, or the AI? Would you like to see destroyers squaring off against each other? Which I think could be an interesting fight. Just giving control of the ships to the AI. Having the torps fly in every which way. And then trying to get away from the torpedoes. Let's see if the AI is capable of steering outside of the torpedo range. Not sure if they can do that. Not sure how effective the AI is at torpedo beating. But that might be an interesting experiment. Anyway, if you have any other ideas, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you want to play this game, you can. It is not out on Steam yet, but you can, I believe, still get it through the early access link down below in the description. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this fight, and I shall see you soon for more World of Warships, I was going to say. For more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts.